guys, welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time, welcome. My name is Siobhan from To Kitty and Beyond, and today we're going to do a reading for the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. I want to do a combined reading because it's been a little while since I did one of those, and I don't know about you guys, but the energy has been really intense lately. I mean, it just keeps building up. It's getting more and more intense as we move along. So every new celestial movement, it's just getting progressively more and more. But I feel like there's been a lot of stuff coming up this week to do with like heart chakra healing and releasing grief and releasing trauma. So if you guys have been feeling really emotional or been having little breakdowns and stuff like that, I'm feeling it too, so you're not alone. And it's definitely something that's going on in the collective as well as within each and every one of us, to different levels depending on where you're at and what you're going through. So I'm gonna freestyle as always, but I don't know what's going on with my throat chakra all of a sudden. Okay, well, we'll go with it. It's like just starts going all intense there. All right, so I'm going to use the Crystal Mandala Oracle first. We'll get 2 for the Divine Feminine and 2 for the Divine Masculine. So let's do Divine Masculine first. Okay. We got Storm Wisdom. 1 more for the Divine Masculine. And the Untamed. Okay. 2 for the Divine Feminine. There's 1. Goodwill. And 1 more for the Divine Feminine. This one. Integrity. Okay, so for the Divine Masculines, the Storm Wisdom and the Untamed, I feel like they're going through a lot of not necessarily outer turmoil right now, because I feel like that was some of the energy that they were stuck in the past, like with a lot of that tower energy, a lot of conflict, and now I feel like it's moved more into their heart space, more into their energy body. It's not necessarily something that's going on around them. It's more something that's going on within them now. And so through this, the Storm Wisdom and the Untamed are saying that there's a storm inside of him and it's really shaking things up. And it's untamed, and it's not supposed to be tamed, because at this point he really needs to just let it rage on. That part in Frozen just popped into my head. Let the storm rage on, you know? It's like, don't hold it back anymore. Don't hold it in anymore. It's like, just let it go. Let it go, let it go. Don't hold it back anymore. So there you go, Divine Masculine. You got that going on. Let it go. It's time. It's time. And then for the Divine Feminine, we got Goodwill and Integrity. So that's awesome. Goodwill being about goodwill for ourselves, goodwill for our Divine Masculine, and goodwill for the planet, especially with the Goddess Gaia and Ocean Jasper. I feel like this is the Divine Feminines are coming into their integrity, their goodwill for the planet, and for their divine purpose, because our spiritual purpose is not just for ourselves, it's for everyone. It's to serve the collective. As light workers, we are in service to the collective. That's what we do. The darkness, the dark workers, if you want to call them that, I guess, are in service to themselves for their own benefit and their own selfish needs. And so as light workers, as divine awakened goddesses, we choose to stand in the light, to offer our light to others, to all others, because everyone deserves a chance. And we're here to heal, not only ourselves, not only our divine masculines, but we're here to heal the planet. We're here to heal Gaia. I want to show you guys this card because I feel like it's got some activation codes in it. So for the divine feminines, take a minute and look at this card because I feel as though it's very not triggering. What's the word? Yeah, an activation. It holds codes. It holds a message that somebody out there is supposed to receive. If they're telling me to do this, it's for a reason. So thank you for realizing your divine mission to serve the collective and Goddess Gaia, because we're part of her. We came here and we're part of her. Okay, so now we're going to go into the Faerie Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue and Radleigh Valentine. And we'll get a couple of clarifiers for the Divine Masculine. We'll get 3. How about one more? Okay, this one. And 3 for the Divine Feminine. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so for the Divine Masculine, we got Princess of Spring. It's time to go after your dreams. Do something that expands your horizons and let your creativity take flight. We got the Two of Summer, falling in love or making a serious commitment to someone. Forgiveness and the resolution of a problem. Don't give up. Your relationship can be healed. And the Five of Summer. Trust that there is a reason for everything that happens. Remove yourself from the negative emotions of others, focusing on that which frightens or worries you. Okay, so I feel as though this storm that he's going through internally now is helping him to figure out what he wants, what he doesn't want, and how he's going to go about getting it. So he's saying to himself now, I've been through enough turmoil. I've been through enough storms externally. It's time to face the storm, to stand in the eye of it, get some clarity, and decide very clearly what he wants and how he's going to go about getting it. And part of that is trust. Part of that is following his dreams, and part of that is healing his past relationships, or healing the traumas that he has endured through his past relationships. So I feel as though he's coming out of this frightened and worried mentality. I feel as though this is what has been causing the storm within his life, and now he's realizing that the external is a reflection of the internal, so that the external turmoil, that word keeps coming back again, the external chaos is caused by internal dissatisfaction, internal imbalance. And so he's coming into a realization that that's no longer serving him, and it's time now to move out of that and to go after what he really wants, whether that be in his career, whether that be as a hobby, or whether that be in relationships with the Divine Feminine. And I see with the Two of Summer especially, that's the Two of Cups in traditional tarot. So that's that offer of love. He's working through all of these things to be able to move forward and give an offer of love from a place that's no longer codependent, from a place that's no longer selfish, and from a place that's no longer unbalanced, or imbalanced, rather. Okay, and so for the Divine Feminine, we got some really beautiful cards. we got the Empress, the Sun, and Awakening. And I absolutely love the Empress in this deck. As you can see, she's gorgeous, she's abundant, she's a queen. She stands in her power and she's joyous and she's beautiful. So take time to take action, the power of creativity, success that allows for a life of luxury. So when we go, and this has been a repeating theme in some of the past readings that have come up, when we go about our life purpose, when we truly trust and we embark upon our soul mission here on earth, we will come into abundance. And it's not about, doing it because you're looking for the reward. The reward is really just icing on the cake. It's really just, it's good karma, basically. I mean, when you do good, good comes to you. But it's not the primary motive. The motive is how you feel when you heal. How you feel when you heal. That's the motive. And everything else is just gravy, baby. And it's awesome. The universe will provide. So if you're feeling fear or any trepidation about stepping into your soul mission fully, don't, because you will be provided abundance on your path. You will be taken care of. You will have financial success and inner fulfillment, which is the most important thing. Inner fulfillment. And when you are fulfilled within, you radiate that energy out to the collective. So it's a win-win-win situation, which is the best because there's no losers. Everybody wins. And then we got the Sun. Plans that work out perfectly. Amazing ideas that lead to rewards and commendations. Gratitude for the blessings of life. And so when those rewards do come in, just be so grateful and so thankful that not only are you fulfilled and you're healing yourself, you're healing others, you're truly happy, then you've also got all this financial abundance on top of that so that you have the freedom. Because how can we be free if we're enslaved to debt? So this freedom is something to be celebrated and something to be truly grateful for because it is a blessing. And Awakening, which in the traditional tarot is the Hanged Man. In this deck, it says, change the way you're looking at the situation. Embrace your uniqueness. It's like a tongue twister. Unique New York. Unique, blah, 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 blah. Your uniqueness. A temporary pause in the action. So it's saying finding a new perspective, and I feel like this new perspective is coming from our inner integrity and our goodwill. This new perspective is coming from a place of knowing, that claircognizance, that inner knowing that this is what we're meant to do, this is what we came here to do, and it's going to be fulfilling because it was our intention all along. It's like in Lion King, it's like, remember who you are, Simba. We're all remembering who we are, what we came here to do, and now we are stepping into that. And we're going to see this healing and this success and this abundance. And we're going to see all of these things. And, I'm feeling unity. So let's see let's get a couple of the Romance Angels cards. Because unity hasn't come up in this reading, but for the past couple of days from the Faerie Tarot deck, it's been coming up over and over and over and over again. So let's get one for the Divine Masculine. Yeah. And then one for the Divine Feminine. Okay. So for the Divine Masculine, we got love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So I feel like he's trying to love himself right now because I feel like in the past he hasn't. In the past he's been really hard on himself and he hasn't liked himself, and now he's come into this awakening from all of these tower moments that he's gone through, because the tower was such a prevalent card for the divine masculine for such an extended period of time, that I feel as though it's just been like one thing after another, and it was just breaking him down to the point where he had to surrender. Because the reason why, if he would have surrendered after the first one, there wouldn't have needed to be consistently more and more tower moments and progressively worse and worse tower moments. But because he was not willing to surrender, he was not willing to let go, he was not willing to heal himself and to love himself, the universe and his higher self were really being persistent until he was finally going to get it. And I feel as though he's made a major breakthrough, and he's finally starting to get it. He's finally starting to look at himself with a clear mirror so he can reflect accurately and decide who he doesn't want to be and who he does want to be. And from that point, he can heal and he can move forward with optimism, enthusiasm, and creative energy, which is the Princess of Spring, and make his dreams come true in his career and in his love life, and get out of this conflict that he's been in for so long. It's done. It doesn't have to be that way. Okay? For the feminine, we got religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. So this whole feminine side has been about the spiritual path. Everything that we're going through right now, I feel like we're moving a little bit away from, oh, we want unity, which is a good thing, because we're taking our attention away from the attachment to the divine masculine and the neediness, and which repels the divine masculine, by the way. So when we're stuck in that needy energy, it pushes him away because we're magnets, right? So the divine feminine are now moving more into self-realization, and that realization is leading to our spiritual path, our spiritual purpose. And that is going to affect the union as well. But right now, that's not what's as important. What's really important is about us coming into our spiritual mission and really taking action and really moving forward with that, and really being our authentic self, and not fearing what others think about us, not fearing what the public think of you, not fearing what your friends and family think of you, and most importantly, not fearing what the divine masculine thinks of you in your spiritual beliefs. Because I feel as though not a lot, but definitely a proportion of the divine masculines are unawakened, and the divine feminines are further ahead. And not to say that we're better, it's like that for a reason, because there needs to be at least one who's woken up, and it tends to be the divine feminine, simply because as feminines we are more sensitive, and so we feel the energies, and thus we can move with the energies rather than against them, which is more difficult for the divine masculine because they're not as sensitive. And that's not anything against them. We need their stability because we're so flowy. So it's really a very divine balance. It's that divine polarity that we both need to embody our own frequencies. So I want to get a couple of, I have another Faerie Tarot deck. This one's by Barbara Moore. And we'll get 2 clarifiers on love yourself first, and then 2 clarifiers on religious factors. So 2 for the divine masculine, please. This one. Pentacles on Pentacles. He's thinking about his money. And the feminine. Wands on Wands. She's thinking about her creative purpose. So in this one, I don't read reversals, so you just see me flip that around. So we got Five of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles for the Divine Masculine, clarifying not only love yourself first, but clarifying this whole Divine Masculine side. So the Five of Pentacles is about feeling kind of left out in the cold, feeling like she doesn't have enough. Her baskets have overturned, and all of her hard work is kind of all for naught. But the Knight of Pentacles is saying, no, don't worry about it. We're actually moving forward with the financial situation and also the physical realm. So Pentacles can either represent money or they can represent the physical realm, like this reality. And so I do feel as though as masculines they are more grounded, more stable, which, as we just discussed, is important, but they can sometimes get too focused on the physical realm, too focused on their finances. And I feel, okay, so what I'm feeling from this right now, I just got a message saying that some of the divine masculines out there may be fearing stepping into their divine purpose because they're fearing that it's not going to bring them abundance, and they may be fearing leaving jobs that pay them really well to go after what's going to actually truly make them happy. And I feel as though what's going to truly make them happy is something creative. There's something artistic that they're wanting to do, and they may be in a desk job or a labor job or something along those lines, which is not creative and it's not fulfilling them. But with the Knight of Pentacles, it's saying, don't worry about it. You've got to just move forward. You got to let go of, and with the Five of Summer, she's saying as well that you've got to trust that there's a reason that everything happens, and it's time to remove yourself out of negative environments, which could be that job, and move into what's going to bring you joy and fulfillment and happiness, because that's how you're going to love yourself. When you're happy, you love yourself. If you're doing something that doesn't make you happy, of course you're not going to love yourself, because you feel as though you're selling yourself short and you're selling out. And you're wasting your time and you're wasting your energy and you're wasting your life doing something that you don't enjoy. But I feel as though it's caused by this fear and this worry. So there's this fear and this worry around money. Even though I feel like the Divine Masculine is abundant, I feel like he's doing fine with his money. But it's all his perception of it. It's all in his head. So it's time now to move forward, and we're getting a lot of fives. The 5 and the 5 saying that, it's time to get some change in your life. It's time to allow this storm to carry you to where you need to be. Allow the storm to burn away everything that you are not, because you are untamed. Don't let external forces tame your wildness, because your wildness and your essence is true love, and that love is for yourself and to share with the world. And through that, you will have abundance, as we're seeing in the Divine Feminine spread. So with the Divine Feminine, we got the 5 of Wands and the King of Wands. And in this deck is a little bit different, I find, than traditional tarot decks. So, like, for example, the 5 of Pentacles and the 5 of Wands, they're not the same meaning as they would be in, like, the traditional sense. So in this deck, the 5 of Wands is about sharing. It's about giving and receiving. And I feel as though when we give, I know that for a fact that when we give, we receive, because you open up those channels of abundance. And I've spoken of this before, where it's a two-way street. And as soon as you take down the roadblock, as soon as you give, the traffic starts coming in too. So it's like you're opening the floodgate, and it's a circular, it's an infinite flow. So as soon as you remove that one block, it just starts going around like this. So as soon as you give, you're going to receive. And it's saying that when you give to the world with integrity, from your spiritual purpose, you're going to receive. So we're getting that very clearly. And the King of Wands is grounded, passionate, definitely passionate. So the two wands here, it's funny because the Divine Feminine is all about that fiery passion right now, that fire and that creativity. The wands are definitely creative force, creative energy. So as feminines, of course we are. We are the creators. We literally create life from our bodies. And so this is saying, you know, we're going to create. And the fact that it's not the Queen of Wands, it's the King of Wands, it's saying that we may need to ground that creativity more into the physical realm. Instead of just having a creative up in the ether, let's ground that creativity into the world. Let's share our creativity with the world in a practical, physical way. Okay, so we're seeing a lot of mirroring here, but in different ways. I'm feeling a lot of, it's like the same, but kind of opposite almost. Whereas the masculine's doing a lot of inner work, the feminine's doing a lot of outer work now, because we've done that inner work and now we're ready to give to the world. And the masculine is, he's coming up. He's coming into his own. And he's doing it fairly quickly. So that's heartening to hear. You know, that's positive, very positive messages for all of us, especially through this time of somewhat tumultuous